to another episode of the Honda Civic Mugen SI series. In today's video, we're starting off a little different. We're inside my apartment. We will get to the Mugen, but today's video is a 1-year build update. Yes, you've heard that right. 1 year. I've owned this car for a little over a year now, and I wanted to update you guys on everything that's been done to it. One of the other big things is, do I regret buying this car? Was it the right decision? Did I make the right choice? Is it the right car? Should I have gotten a regular 8th gen Civic? Another big one is I'm going to be giving a price reveal on it. And I'm also going to be talking through, is buying a Mugen SI the right thing to do? Because some of you guys come to my channel for tips on how to repair your Mugen SI or maintenance or stuff like that. And I'm going to be doing a full breakdown of what this car would have cost me if I got everything done from the dealer, and how much I actually saved working on the car myself, and hopefully you guys. Hopefully I saved you guys a lot of money too in the process. And the other big thing is, like, what are future plans for this Mugen SI? Will I sell it? Will I keep it? Or will I respond to your comments of the, yo bro, will you sell me the Mugen? No, I'm not gonna sell you the Mugen. Yes, I'm keeping the Mugen. So let's get into all those questions in today's video, and let's go through this run through of what's been done. Alright, so starting off with the YouTube channel, where we've come from, where we're currently at, and what the future plans are. Starting off with why I did this, so shamelessly I actually did the YouTube channel for myself, as it brought a lot of nostalgia from way back in the day when I owned my Volkswagen GTI, and I remember going on VW Vortex and chatting with everyone and looking at everyone's build, seeing what they're doing. We've kind of moved away from forums as a society, so I didn't want to really go on YouTube groups, or Facebook groups, because it's just not my thing. But YouTube was the next best thing, and it actually brings back a lot of that nostalgia of when I had my GTI. Started off with 0 subscribers. We're currently at about 450, so if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. I definitely want to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, because that's when you start getting monetized, and I feel like that's what will really push this build. Over the course of the last year and change, we've had about 62,000 views, which is a lot. I never thought I would get that many views at all. Primarily all of them coming from my clickbait AC quick fix $8 fix video, which I found pretty funny. I got about 20,000 plus views on that. If it worked, it would have been great, but I had a bigger problem. But yeah, 62,000 people have actually clicked in and found some of these videos useful. Like even something as your wipers, like over 1,000 people clicked that video. So if I can help someone out, I will. I've recorded 22 videos, not including this, which to me seems like a lot, but I know I wasn't consistent. I want to get more into the track of doing 1 video a week. And sorry I missed last week. I caught quite a cold. And then referring back to those comments where I'm chatting with people, we've had over 135 comments just replied to me, not including what I've replied back and the exchange afterwards. So the channel has actually come pretty far. I never thought it coming this far. Now, future plans. Definitely continue on to grow the channel. Definitely try to put out a video a week. My plans are to add builds, further builds to this channel, but definitely really just want to focus on the Mugen SI at the moment. You know, that car is my baby, and I just want to make it to the best example that I think it could be within the money that I'm willing to spend on the car. So that's kind of the future plans right now, but there definitely will be another build to add to the channel fairly soon, so be on the lookout, subscribe. And let's see, where do we go next? One of the big things in this video that I want to answer is, was this car worth buying, and do I regret it? Now, worth buying, I don't know, maybe I could have gotten a cleaner example, but I'm sure a lot of you guys know these cars are very rare to come by, only 1,000 made, and when they go on the marketplace, they actually go pretty fast because everyone just wants one. I actually bought this car sight unseen in Cleveland, Ohio. Rust Belt car, I know, I've been there, but you know, it's been a very good car to me. Do I regret buying it? No, not at all. Will I sell it? No, not at all. So let's actually get into when I bought it. I actually bought the car last year with 127,000 miles. As it sits today, it has 142,000 miles. So over the course of 1 year, I've put about 15,000 miles on the car. Those 15,000 miles, 3,000 of those were on the road trip. So I think 12,000 miles over the course of a year is pretty standard. So pretty happy with it. And within those 12,000 miles, luckily, knock on wood, there's been no breakdowns on the side of the road, which has been great. The car's been really good to me. Just small things here and there that, it's just neglect from the prior owner. So over the course of the year, what have we done to the car? I've definitely done some performance things, some maintenance, and then some repairs. Some of the performance might not be considered performance to a lot of people, but it's an upgrade from stock, which I would say I count as performance. Because I could have just went the stock route or a cheaper auto parts store route and saved some money there, but I opted to pay extra for the more performance-oriented parts, such as like the StopTech rotors and the Hawk pads, or the Michelin All-Season Sport tires, or even the upgraded speakers in the doors. So I count those as performance mods. And then as for the maintenance, generic stuff, and we'll get through that. What I've done actually is I've called dealerships throughout New Jersey for all the work that I did in New Jersey, and then I called Honda dealerships in Texas for all the work that I've done on the car in Texas, just to get a fair share of ideas, not just calling one dealership and saying, this is what they quoted me, and it being like a crazy big number. So, starting with oil changes. I've done 3 oil changes on this car since I've owned it. I actually called DNC Honda of Tenafly in New Jersey, and I asked them how much an oil change for my car would be with a new filter and a new washer and new fluid. They quoted me at $75, which is, doesn't sound too bad. Pretty standard, I guess, for oil change. Now, if you do your own oil change, it would cost you about $48, considering you go with a more premium oil, such as what I do, and the OEM filter. So for me, the filter and the washer, an OEM one, costs about $11, and then the oil is about $37, putting me at $48, which is a savings of $27 over the dealership, and I get to use the Ames oil that I actually really like, not whatever the dealership has on hand. So 3 oil changes at the dealership would have cost me about $225, based off of my own costs, about $144. So already off the saving great money right there, almost $90 in savings. Next, a coolant change at DCH Honda Paramus in New Jersey. They quoted me at $188 to change the coolant in the car. I actually went out and bought 2 gallons of Honda coolant for $39, and that's what it costs. So I saved a total of $150 in changing the coolant, and hopefully saved you guys that as well, if you followed my video. Next, we did the transmission fluid. I called Route 23 Honda in New Jersey. They also quoted me $188. So I'm guessing they just kind of factor in labor and then a bottle or 2 of the fluid. But I bought 2 bottles of Ames oil fluid, which cost me $32. So I also saved about $155 in that situation as well. Next, this was actually a pretty big one. The spark plugs on the car. Now, I know it's not as easy as fluids and it might scare some people, but that's why I put these videos out, is to help you guys and make sure that if I can do it, you can do it. I try to make them as in-depth as possible. But if you were to take your 2008 or 8th gen Civic Si to Honda and say you wanted 4 spark plugs changed, Honda of Hackettstown in New Jersey would charge you $407. I don't know how I pulled this off, but I got a pretty good deal. I think I got them from Advanced Auto Parts. Maybe I had a coupon or something, but I got 4 brand new spark plugs, the NGK, and they only cost me $34. So a grand saving of $373, which was pretty big. So you're welcome. Next, I didn't talk about this on camera, but I actually got the passenger airbag recall done on the car. I got this done at DCH Honda Paramus, It was free. Honda corporate sent me a $50 gift card as a thank you for getting it done. I'm not sure why, but maybe because, I don't know, I didn't get in an accident and my passenger died and sued them. So I got a $50 gift card, I'll take it. But what I didn't say is when the dealership was changing my airbag, they kind of nicked my panel and they played it off as it was already there. But luckily I had some proof of that nick not being there, and they replaced the dash panel for me for free, or the airbag cover over the passenger dash. Next, we did the wiper blades on the car. Super simple. I know it sounds crazy, but I paid $69 for brand new wiper blades from Honda OEM. And the reason here that I did this was you can go to Advanced Auto Parts and buy a $20 wiper blade set and just replace them, and it costs $40 to replace the front two versus almost $70. But with the OEM set, you can actually just change out the insert, and that only costs like $6. So the thought here was after your second set, it kind of pays for itself, so why not? So I called VIP Honda in New Jersey, and for them to replace the wipers with brand new wipers and labor, it would be $161. So a savings of $92 by just changing your own wipers. A lot of people know how to do that, but it's crazy. Some people don't. They'll pay the dealership that. Next, a lot of people, if you guys watched my one video, my side view mirrors didn't work. The wiring was actually cut inside the door. I guess when the prior owner had the car resprayed, they took the door off and they didn't reroute the wires correctly, and when you press the window down, it kind of chopped the wire. What I estimated this at was about 2 hours of labor for a mechanic to open the door panels on both doors, splice the wires, connect it, and reroute it. At $125 an hour, 2 hours would put us at $250. For me, it cost me nothing. I just had to splice the wires and I had the tools at home, so I saved $150. Next, I bought new speakers for the car because I was thinking the speakers were blown, but they actually weren't. It was the amp. The new speakers cost me $160. I called the local audio shop for car audio, and they quoted me that with the same speakers I bought and installed, it would be $369. So by just popping off the door panels and screwing in speakers, and they're pretty plug and play, I saved about $200. Next, this was pretty crazy to me, but the wheel locks that I got in my car, because I do live in an apartment complex, the wheel locks were $33 for me from Honda. I bought them from College Hill Honda on eBay. They shipped to my door. I installed them, $33. If I was to buy them and get them installed from DNC Honda of Tenafly, New Jersey, with install, it would be $110, which is a savings of $76. Since I have two sets on my car, I would have saved $150 by doing this myself. Next, in one of my videos, I talked about the front speakers not working. I thought they were all interconnected with what the prior owner told me, but actually the amp was blown in the car. I was able to source a used amp online. If you go try to buy a new amp at the dealership, it's over $400 and it's just not worth it. So I was able to get a used amp online for $50. I called another audio shop called System Addicts in New Jersey. They said they would take $125 to install it, so saving me with tax and all that about $135. After that, this is where things really swung. My car's AC compressor. Had I known the car's AC compressor was bad, and this was before I actually had the courage to even do this, because at first I was just going to give this to someone, I probably might have skipped on this car and waited for a different Mugen, or just bought a regular 8th gen. But the AC compressor on this car went bad. I bought a brand new Denso unit on Amazon for $338, including the gaskets. I called Northside Honda here in Texas, and they quoted me $2,744 for a compressor change, evap, and recharge. And here's the kicker. They would give me a factory remanufactured unit. So I got a better name brand, Denso. I got it new, and I installed it myself, and I saved $2,400, which is pretty big. Next, this one we have to take with a grain of salt because the prices aren't one for one. But if I was to go to Honda and ask them to change the front brakes here in Texas at Howdy Honda, they would want $702 for OEM pads, OEM rotors. I went with StopTech pads and rotors, StopTech rotors and Hawk pads, and I bought them for $410. So a total savings of $292. And then after that, after I changed my front brakes, on a very hot day here in Texas, my AC broke again, and it was actually the blower motor. So what I did was I actually bought a non-OEM unit off of Amazon. It's still working fine, a little over, probably a year now, it's been working fine, but $48 it costed me. If I was to take it to Honda of San Marcos for them to change it with the OEM unit, it would be $477. So kind of crazy, but saved about another $430 there. After that, if I was to change my rear brakes with Honda of Leander, they would charge me $493, and what it costed me for the StopTech rotors and Hawk pads were $266, so a savings of $227. Then I think this is where I should have kind of gone with Honda on this piece, but it was more so a time thing. I went to start my car, it wouldn't start, so I just went to the local Walmart. I picked up a battery. The battery was $187. I called Round Rock Honda here in Texas. They said installed, it would be $224. So I'm sure without the install, it'd probably be similar price for the battery, and I would get a genuine Honda battery rather than a Walmart brand. The reason why I should have went with the Honda battery here is because I do want to go with the Hybrid Racing cold air intake, which has a battery relocation kit. And the battery relocation kit is really only made for the OEM battery, not any aftermarket, because some of the aftermarket batteries have like a ledge on them, and that doesn't fit within the relocation set. But you know what? We'll figure it out when the time comes. Now the next two things, they're kind of like, I spent more money on this, but I actually got a pretty good deal. But if you were to buy them without the deal, it would probably cost you more. So my tires, I actually bought them from Discount Tire Rack, the Michelin All Season Sport 4. It cost me $810 installed. Now, if you were to buy those tires today with installation, without the promo that I had, it would be $972. So $162 on top of what I paid. So usually what I like to do is during like 4th of July, Labor Day, or Black Friday, they always have deals on tires. I try to buy it around that time frame, just because it's usually cheaper. So you could probably play with your prices there. I know some people like to stay under $600 for tires, but I just got a really good set for $800, and it was just worth it for me. Now, I called the next place called Gun Honda in Texas, and I asked them, like, hey, my car doesn't have TPMS sensors in 2 of the wheels. I would like all 4 replaced. How much would it cost with the OEM sensors? And they quoted me at $594. I actually did not buy OEM sensors. I just bought a cheap set off of Amazon. It cost me $45, and when I got the tires replaced at Discount Tire, they installed them and programmed them for me for free. So I saved about $550 in that scenario. Now, Let's talk about the price of my Honda Civic. My Honda Civic actually cost me $10,500, along with a ticket to Cleveland and the DMV fees. I'm going to say I'm about $11,000 into my Honda Civic SI, which in my opinion could be a lot for 8th gen. For Mugen, not really. But if I was to just buy this car like I did sight unseen, and I'm not a handy person, this car would cost me almost $20,000. Damn! Based off of all these dealer prices. Now, $20,000 for a 2008 Honda Civic Mugen SI, which is pretty much a Civic SI with a body kit. 20 grand, that's a lot of money that you're into that car. Luckily for me, I did my own work, so I have only about, I would say, $14,000 into the car, which for me is perfectly fine for a Honda Civic SI Mugen. But when you're talking 20 grand, you could probably get much better cars. Like you could probably get like a used 9th gen or 10th gen in that price range. And they're just better cars. Now, are they as special? No. Do they rev all the way out to like 8,000, 9,000? No. Are they as fun? Subjective. One has a turbo, one doesn't. But I think with what I've been able to do with the car and build this channel and, you know, have fun, I think I'm perfectly happy where I currently sit within this car. And considering that I've saved about $5,700 compared to going to a dealer, I'm very happy with what I have in this car. So with that being said, let's go downstairs, take a look at this car, see what's next for the car, what else we need to get done, what's next for the channel, future videos, and we'll talk down there. All right, so downstairs now, taking a look at the Mugen up close and what we've done and what's to be done this year. So starting off with the side of the car, I think the biggest things that I want to do that reflect anything on the side of this car is get these wheels refinished. If we look at this one wheel, the Mugen center cap logo popped off. I actually was able to find it, and I might either epoxy it back on or just get new center caps all around. But definitely want to get the wheels refinished. All these wheels have seen better days. A lot of curb rash on every wheel, and I think one of them actually has like a slight bend in them, so definitely want to get them straightened out or potentially new wheels. The car does need a full respray in my opinion, because it is pretty scratched up, but you know, we can make it work without a respray for the time being. One of the things I do want to do, and I'll probably do this myself, if we look at these trim pieces, the paint is peeling. I guess they used a cheaper paint, or like they didn't use an adhesion promoter, so the paint is peeling on these trim pieces. I might just pop these off and rattle can some paint on. It will look better than what it currently does. It's not going to look perfect, but as long as it looks better than what it currently looks like, I think that's the goal at the moment. Also for the side, I do want to get new Mugen side window visors. I think those look really cool, and it helps complete the look of the car. So definitely on my list of things to do. Moving over to the back. I think the car, it doesn't really need anything on the back. What do I want to do? One of the biggest things is I want to get a new tint, and I think I'll get new tint all around. I'll probably just buy a steamer, peel this off, and take it to a shop. It is really hot here in Texas, so I would like to get my windows tinted, and then hopefully it just helps the appearance in the back with all this bubbling. As for the back and the bottom, I do want to get a third brake light. I feel like they look really cool and completes the look of the Mugen when you add those, so definitely want to get that done. And I'll probably clean that exhaust tip and make it shiny. One of the things over here is there's a slight crack in this trim. It's probably due to the heat of the exhaust. I probably won't be able to source this. I'll have to buy a whole new diffuser, and those are pretty expensive. I don't think it's really worth it for a small crack like that, but let's see. Who knows what rabbit hole I go down. Same thing with this side that I said on the other side. Taking a look at the top, I actually removed the moonroof sun visor, and I guess when the previous owner installed it, they put it on fresh paint. So when I removed it, it kind of pulls some of this paint off. So the car definitely does need a full respray. Taking a look at the front of the car, you know, the front of the car, it has seen better days. A lot of rock chips. So the front of the car needs a full respray, especially the front bumper. The diffuser doesn't match the bumper, the color, so I would like to get it all resprayed. I do need to get the headlights cleaned, or new OEM headlights. I feel like that'll really help the look of this car. And then also on my list of things to do is to get a carbon fiber hood. I feel like that'll look really cool on the car. But that's pretty much it for the visual mods of the car. I think overall the car's coming together. We got the new tires, the new rotors. I think if I could do it all over again, I would probably go with like a big brake kit on the front. I know a lot of people run the TL Type S brakes on the 8th gens, and I feel like that would look really cool with the DC5 Creations upgrade with like the Brembos. So who knows, maybe I'll do that this year. But definitely one of the things I want to do is just get it looking a little better. Definitely get the front bumper and the lip resprayed. Essentially, I want to get the whole car repainted, but that will cost a lot of money. So let's see if we ever get to that point. Let's see, what else? I think overall the car is in pretty good condition. It's running well, it's driving well. All the maintenance is up to date. So let me pop the hood and we'll talk about some of the things we've done there. All right, so got the hood popped, and before we go into what needs to be done under the hood and what's been done, one of the things I forgot to mention is I do need to get a Honda key. I still am running this blank key, and it's super annoying because I can't use any of the button functionality that the Honda keys have. So that's definitely on my list to do. It's just super expensive, and they were out of stock for a while. They just didn't have them. They were on back order. So now one of the dealerships has them near me, and I'll probably set up an appointment and get those done. But looking under the hood, similar to the rest of the car, it does need a full detail. It's super dirty under here. A few things that we've done: we've changed the coolant fluid, we've changed the transmission fluid, we've changed the engine oil a few times, the battery's new. What's left to do? I do need to change the brake fluid. It's pretty old, not sure when it was last changed, and the clutch fluid. Taking a look at this side of the car, one of the things I do want to do is I want to get a hybrid racing intake. So that'll clean up all of this. It'll relocate the battery to the bottom. It'll kind of pipe the intake down into the fender, and I think it'll look super cool. Coming over to this side of the car, I still do need to install some of my Mugen accessories that I got from Japan. I'll probably do that in the next video, but that'll be like a little engine bay dress up. That'll be super cool. I'll probably get rid of this cover for the throttle body, or the intake manifold, sorry. But one of the things I do want to do over here is I do want to get a valve cover, probably in wrinkle red. I feel like it'll look super cool, give it that vintage Honda look. And then we have changed the spark plugs. One of the things I do want to do is I want to get the carbon fiber Mugen spark plug cover. That'll look super cool. And then on this side of the car, serpentine belt seems in pretty good condition, so I'm not going to change that, but I do want to get the Hasport mounts. I feel like that'll help stiffen the ride, and it'll look super clean in the engine bay. In the front, I do want to get the Password JDM carbon fiber radiator cover, and then for the fuse box, the same thing. I think they make a carbon fiber cover, so I think that'll look super cool. Other than that, I think it looks pretty good in the engine bay. I'm sure there's plenty of other things that I could do, like upgrade the radiator. And then long-term vision in the engine is actually to get a Kraftwerk supercharger. This car it's a slow car. It looks like a fast car, but it's slow. So I think if we could get all those things done, we'll be pretty golden. I think also when I change the valve cover, I'll also do a valve adjustment, and that'll help it run even better. So overall, that's the plans for the engine bay, and let's hop on the inside. All right, so moving on to the inside, starting with the back of the car. Also, this car really needs an interior detail, so that will definitely get done. I'll probably make a video on that. But starting with the back of the car, I do want to get new speakers in the back to match the speakers that I put in the front. I feel like that'll really help the sound quality, and then get an aftermarket amp to really really get used to those speakers. I am missing the floor mats in the back, so that'll be nice to get as well, just so my passengers don't mess up my carpet. Then moving to the front of the car, everything is working over here at the moment. One of the big things that I want to get fixed is I need a new door check on the passenger side, on the driver's side, because right now it just seems like I have a Tesla and the door closes itself. But long-term goal is definitely get better seats. Moving to the cockpit of the car, I do want to get a new steering wheel. My thought is to get everything carbon fiber here, potentially leather wrapped. I feel like that would be really cool. In the center, I do want to get a aftermarket unit, hopefully like a Pioneer or some name brand. I feel like that'll look really nice in here and kind of update the interior. The shift knob, this leather is ripped. I'm probably going to get rid of this and change the shift knob. I've got that one that I picked up in Japan. That'll be super cool. And I also want to go with the short throw shifter from Acuity. That'll really spice up the driving experience. Other than that, I think pretty much everything else will remain the same. I do want to get this visor fixed. It is broken, so I do need to get that replaced. Over here, I need to fix that trim. Long-term goals, let's see. Other than what I called out, I think I do want to get everything wrapped in suede black headliner. And then overall, I think that'll pretty much wrap it up for the interior. Alright guys, and that's pretty much it. That's the 1 year build update. I know a lot of it hasn't been too exciting. I know there's a lot of great content out there on YouTube, but I really appreciate the guys that followed me along on this journey. It's really a slow and long process for me. It's more so a marathon. And I know this was a very long video, so thank you everyone who stuck around till the end. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure that you're liking the video, you're subscribed to the channel, and you're on the lookout for epic content that's hopefully going to come down the road. But for now, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.